The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back to another Kurre and Klapow here, live from Vulcan. We want to thank the fine folks at Vulcan. Unbeknownst to them, they give us a little spot here as we do our broadcast here. They're going to be reopening this by December, I think, just in time for the holidays.
It's much more balmy.
It is a little.
I got a whole lot of comments about my serial killer. By the way, somebody hacked my account. Damn it.
I'm laughing with you, brother, because it's happening.
God.
Yeah.
It really pisses me off. Mm-hmm. And what they hacked it with was not, it's not great. It's not horrible.
Yeah.
But you can't, and why doesn't Facebook have a 1-800 number?
That's a great question.
I put in every complaint. I went every way. I looked at 17,000 YouTube videos on how to get it in there and whatever. At least it's not the porn star. Like, this is not a porn
Now,
thing.
at least I got some followers out of mine. Not once, not twice, but 3 different times. And it's funny because even when I called them out, they hacked me again. So, and seriously, I take pride in the fact that I have some followers.
But like I'm the same way, we don't have millions.
But I mean, yeah.
Why us?
I don't know. Maybe they're infiltrating. They're starting small. Maybe they're trying to tell us something. I'm to the point now where if you don't get hacked,
you're nothing.
You're nothing. So, but once is enough.
You know, it's one of those, like, I don't know. I mean, I understand it's like first world problem unless they're taking your bank account and all that kind of stuff, but it's just such a ugh.
I know.
And I feel slightly violated.
Yeah.
Well, no, the porn star one, I felt very violated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's balmy, by the way, up here. It's very nice.
It feels good up here. Looking forward to some rain maybe this weekend. We do a little show here every Thursday before we get on Fox 6. And pleasantly surprised, I use that word pleasantly, that we're going to be talking about
spicy.
Spicy stuff. OnlyFans on Fox 6 this morning. There is a teacher, we'll talk about this in just a second, in Missouri, who was making $42,000 a year, was trying to supplement her income, and so she got on OnlyFans. I don't know if she got on OnlyFans. I'm assuming she got on there knowing that she was probably going to take her clothes off.
I mean, we'll talk about
the way she looks.
You don't have to completely take your clothes off.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole range.
There is.
It's a whole range.
And so the word gets out, obviously, that this happens because she got fired. She had her face either blurred out or did not have her face in any of her videos because she didn't want to lose her job as a school teacher of 5 years.
Exactly. So she took that good step to do that. Oops.
That good step. Unbeknownst to her husband's face showed up on one of her videos, and so people started putting 2 and 2 together, and there was a Facebook, of all groups, a Facebook chat group that got together to discuss this situation.
I know that guy.
She has been...
Isn't that something?
She's been like, first of all, the first thing I think of is, I don't remember ever having school teachers in my day that could ever appear on OnlyFans.
I did.
Did you?
I had to. One was I was in 8th grade.
All of my school teachers were like 40s,
she taught
50s,
French,
60s.
and I took Spanish, but I specifically changed over to the French class.
Maybe a couple of substitute teachers that were in their 20s that maybe I had a little thing for. You know?
Yeah, you know, that's really interesting. I wonder, I feel, it's got to be an aging thing. Like, I feel like when we were young and we were in school, I don't remember substitute teachers or even teachers being young. They always say, yeah, but you know what? Like, my mom was a teacher, and she started teaching when she was 24, 25. So it was there.
You would just think, though, at the age, obviously, our prepubescent and our growth spurts at 16, 17, and 18, that if, in fact, there were some teachers that were hot for teacher, that we would have noticed.
I did.
I remember one teacher named Mrs. Cherry, and that was the only teacher, and her name was really Mrs. Cherry. She was a substitute teacher, and at the age of 16, I had a crush on her because, but she was in her 20s. But every other teacher, it's not to say that we didn't have attractive teachers back then.
No, they were more like our moms.
But now when I drop my daughter off.
Well, but that's a whole age thing.
Yeah.
Because when you drop your daughter off, you see teachers. I mean, some of them are new, and they're young, but I hate to tell you, some of them are probably in their late 30s, and they just seem young because you're old.
Yeah.
Patrick Dempsey is the sexiest man alive.
I know. We'll talk about that in a second, too, and he's the same age I am, 57 years of age. So
I met him, you know.
Mm-hmm. Did you?
Yeah. When he was on
there's a reason why he's the sexiest man alive. So it's very easy to take the moralistic view here. and say, obviously, if you're willing to get on a, for lack of a better term, a porn site.
It's not porn. Not porn.
Why?
Because it's not. They made the line that it's not porn.
Who made the line that's not porn?
OnlyFans.
Her and her husband?
No, OnlyFans. They said they have certain criteria.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not porn.
It is porn.
It's not Pornhub.
No, it's not Pornhub. But
now we got to be really careful what we say.
Yeah.
We got to be really careful because I feel like now words that we're saying are going to somehow get our accounts hacked.
Get us some algorithm and analytics and
no, I don't feel like it's.
I would bet that 98% of people that hear the words OnlyFans would say that it's a porn site.
I wouldn't say 98%.
I'm not saying everyone on OnlyFans is
right,
pornography,
but that's what I'm saying.
But there is porn on the site.
But that's what I'm saying.
Period.
If you go to a
and you're talking to a guy that used
if
to watch.
you go to a pornography site, go to Pornhub or whatever, you're not going to see non-pornography.
Yeah.
But on OnlyFans, there's the whole range.
Well, actually, you could.
Well, you could.
Yeah.
But on OnlyFans, it's the whole range. It's not just there for pornographic reasons. And we have to be very careful not to do that whole sweeping, holier than thou.
Well, have you done any research on this woman and what she did on her site?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes. But no.
Yes, it is.
I mean, no. It was sexy scenes.
Okay. All right.
Well, and that's the whole thing. It's a fabulous psychological challenge. How far are you willing to go?
Yeah.
Because again, if you try to jump into the porn industry, you're not going to just be able to get in on a porn site, right? To go. So OnlyFans gives you essentially the whole range. And then the question becomes, you control it, right? Again, you're not working for a pornography company.
Yep.
So at what point are you drawing the line?
Yep.
And what is that line for you?
Well, and here's the whole thing is her name is Brianna Coppage, and I was reluctant to even say her name because I don't want to promote her site because it's not really something that I think is from a moralistic standpoint a good thing. I don't know if
She's trying to earn extra money because our teachers are underpaid.
Well, there are a lot of different ways to earn extra money too. I could run drugs over to Atlanta if I wanted.
But that's not the same thing.
No, but I mean, if
that's illegal.
But
that's illegal.
It is.
Moralistically
speaking, a lot of people would feel it's morally illegal as well. But
no.
My point is what are you willing to do to make the quick dollar? Now, if she obviously, if you get on OnlyFans and you're a nobody, say I'd get on OnlyFans, okay? And the only way I'm going to get people to pay for my subscription is to follow me. Right. And so how is she going to have followers or find people that have followers unless she had another woman friend who was already on there and saying, hey, by the way, if you really enjoy my content, go check out my friend Brianna.
Right.
And maybe she had that.
And that happens a lot now on other social media platforms.
She came out yesterday and said that she's made $1 million already on the site, and I'm assuming it's over a short period of time. The only reason she's making that kind of money is because she got outed from the store.
So she's made $1 million since.
She just said $1 million. I don't know if it's since or not, but it's got to be since.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
She has mentioned that her followers are gone up tenfold.
Of course.
And it's because anytime you see OnlyFans, the word teacher, and fired, most creeps are going to go out there and Google it and find out. And I was one of those guys where I wanted to see just, and again, if you pull up her stuff, it is the best I can say. It's tasteful, I guess, if you want to call it.
It's sexy.
But she does disclose. She's naked in her videos. And we can certainly get into the relevancy of the fact that her husband is obviously on board with this, which is
that gets to the whole interesting relationship dynamic.
I've seen this story. I've seen this story 1,000,000 times. And I can think of a good friend of mine who had a wife, super clean, good Christian girl, went to church,
always the same.
had children.
Yes.
She's like, I could make $6,000 or $7,000 a week by going to the West Valley Ballet. And he's like, really? And he got off on, he's like, that'd be super cool. My wife would be doing this stuff on the side. We won't tell anybody. And 3 years later, they're divorced. Because if you're willing to do that for money, there's no telling what you're willing and how far you're willing to go to make even more.
But I mean, I think, and our producer Jeremy.
By the way, I have no clue where we're going on Fox 6 with this.
Well,
obviously we can't talk about. We probably can't even say the word porn. I'm assuming
we won't.
Yeah.
But I mean, our producer Jeremy sort of alluded to this. If you think about it, there are far less risky ways, in terms of your career and your profession, to make the same amount of money. But what's to me what's so interesting about it, and it's always this way. It's like crypto. It's like maybe even gambling. You could take some of your money, your retirement money, invest it, right, and make whatever percentage, and over time you will, right?
Yep.
And that's even with we do not pay teachers enough, and maybe, particularly for individuals who are not paid enough to go much farther than making ends meet.
Yeah.
The question becomes, am I going for the quick grab? But that quick grab, even on OnlyFans, statistically, you're not going to make that much. Right, because that's what Jeremy said. You don't.
And again, the blessing here is that she got caught, because unless she was one of these lifers in school teaching, and she'd only been doing it for 5 years.
Right.
She seems to be genuinely happy. She's her own entrepreneur now. She can do whatever she wants, and she doesn't have to go teach, snot-nosed 5-year-old children. I don't know where her heart was, and if that's something she misses, I'm not sure. But she'll never teach again.
No, but what if? But again, what if? What if we know we don't pay teachers nearly enough? In some cases,
and she knew that when she did it.
Yeah, but
she knew that when she did it.
Yes, I know, but there's a difference between sort of getting into it, knowing I'm not going to get paid a lot, and then, I don't know what her situation was, but then literally figuring out, okay, this is rough. Like, I can't do this. Oh, look, there's an opportunity where I'm not really taking another job, right? I can still teach my class. Mm-hmm. And I can make a ton of money. Now, I'm not saying it's the best judgment.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is psychologically, it's right there.
I think where we want to go this morning on Fox 6 is like a tattoo. It's a permanent situation. It's something that will follow her for the rest of her life.
But you don't think about it that way.
You don't when you're doing it.
No, but like a tattoo, you kind of do. And a tattoo, you're not going to make any money. That's the difference. Yeah. This is the difference. It's sitting right there in front of you, and your brain starts doing, well, if I only we talked about this, if you only do this for a short period of time, I'll make $10,000.
First of all, that never happens.
I know.
That never happens.
I know,
the person who says, I'm going to do this for a short period of time so I can get out of this hole, and then I'll stop because I don't. And she even said that.
Yes.
She said, I'm going to do this for a short period of time and get myself out of it.
But
she'll be doing it as long as people will follow her.
But what I'm saying is, she's not lying. She may be kidding herself. Maybe lying to herself to justify it.
And that would be something I would think would have to be for the solvency of her marriage and for her relationship. Hey, listen, we're doing this for 2 or 3 years to get out of financial debt, and then I'm stopping.
Right.
And at that point, then you have to have another discussion. I've seen that happen so many different times because at some point it gets kind of hairy. Listen, and again, I'm going to use the moral card here. Just because you're beautiful and you can get a lot of followers and you can make a ton of money doesn't mean that's the road you want to go down.
I totally agree.
A lot of people would say that the porn industry is tearing this country apart from a moralistic standpoint. I'm Catholic and we firmly believe
Totally get that.
And we also know that roughly 40, and I saw this, I did some research this morning, 40% of all people that watch porn are 12 and under.
Yeah, because you have access to it.
Okay, so that's not a good thing.
No, but and I don't know that you know the statistic.
Yeah.
And this is nothing against Catholics because it could work for Jews or Baptists. But like you just said, as a Catholic, this goes against your morals, right? What percentage of Catholics are either members of OnlyFans?
Oh, there's
right.
no doubt. It's totally hypocritical, but it desensitizes sex as we know it between a man and a woman,
But in this case too, it also puts money for you there. I mean, here's the more.
But it's not all about the money.
Here's the more benign version of that.
Yep.
This is getting YouTube, right? I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to create a YouTube page. And if I get enough followers, I'm going to monetize it. And we talked about this with business. I'm going to monetize it. Sure. I'm going to get ads, and all I have to do is present some good content, etc. And what you end up finding out is, oh my God, there's 50 gazillion people, and I'm not making that much money. And so the question becomes, what do I have that I can rise above other people to make money. Well, in OnlyFans, for some people, because that's the other thing, we have to think about OnlyFans in terms of all the people that are not making a dime.
Yeah.
They think they may, but it is this idea, what if? What if I am the one who makes $10,000?
Ultimately, it's what you're comfortable with, and if she's comfortable enough,
Comfortable
to go,
or feel you need. I'm not.
I'm not going to go need, because there's an easy money grab. There's all kinds of different ways you can make money, and if it's all about the mighty dollar. Josh, we do a lot of crazy things in this world because it's money grab.
Including OnlyFans.
I heard a very interesting story about sin taxes in one state. I forget what it is. They just voted on it. It wasn't Ohio, because they just legalized marijuana. The 24th state to do that. But there are a lot of wonderful programs that get those tax dollars from alcohol, from porn, which is being looked over. In Utah, they have a porn tax. And a lot of organizations consider that blood money, because they're like, we need the money and we need the support, but we don't like it coming from porn. We don't like it from tobacco. We don't like it.
I totally get that.
And so, but where else is the money going to come? And so when you're willing to monetize that, I remember when Tuscaloosa, wouldn't allow alcohol sales on Sunday. You couldn't get alcohol sales, and when Northport said we're in, Tuscaloosa said we're not doing that. We're not going to have alcohol sales on Sunday. What are they doing now? Now you're selling alcohol.
Well, and that's why I'm saying.
And so when you're willing to do whatever it takes to make the mighty dollar, you better be really careful where you're jumping into.
So you've given the example all the time, the Clint Eastwood movie. I'm blanking on it, right? Would you be willing to make one drug run to Atlanta from here for $500,000 for and again, this is not like I already have everything comfortable. I can't pay my bills. I can't pay my medical bills. Well, you should get a third.
You ever watched To Catch a Smuggler?
Yes.
How many people, will swallow 50 pills
but that's kind of what I'm saying is, and I'm not saying her specifically, but what you're doing is you're putting something out here that says, it's not illegal. Right, so it is different than drug smuggling in that if I'm going to engage in OnlyFans or drug smuggling, I can get arrested. Okay, so I'm going to engage in OnlyFans. I can say, God, I can barely pay my bills. I don't have to do much. I just got to put a video camera in front of me. And what if I make enough money to pay my bills? And if you notice, it's not everybody, but we always kid about the teacher. But again, how much do teachers make? They're not making $750,000 a year.
Well, she knew that when she was a teacher.
I know, but there's a difference between that and then the realization that now that I'm a teacher, I can't always pay the bills. I'm not saying every teacher does that. But psychologically, as much as morally we may be against it, it makes sense. It makes psychological sense on how you could go from...
It makes financial sense. It makes financial sense.
It's potential, though. It's potential.
She's not doing it for art, and she's not doing it, we'll see where she's at in 5 years. We'll see where she's at in 5 years when she does have children and that stuff starts cropping back up again.
And she may regret it. She may regret it completely. But it's sitting in front of all of us.
I'm not even sure how old she's in her 20s.
But it's sitting in front of all of us, and it's not just porn. Again, you can monetize. I'm going to be the whole thing about I want to be an influencer.
But you don't have to take your clothes off for it.
You get pretty damn close as an influencer. Well, I don't take my clothes off, but I'm not an influencer.
But you have, you do. You are. You have 120,000 fans on one of your pages.
But I have.
And what do? You post thought-provoking, nice messages. And you have followers because of it. You don't have to take your clothes off and be into porn.
Wasn't that a song in the 80s?
What's that?
We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Who sang that? Was that Milli Vanilli?
I have no idea. Speaking of taking his clothes off, I don't think he ever did, and he's an influencer. Patrick Dempsey, who was my age.
I love that. He was sitting totally surprised.
I know. I love that. Now, he's rich. He's famous.
He's a sports car driver.
He's well known. He's a sports car driver, which is sexy.
Well, he's also a good-looking guy.
He's a great-looking guy. You're never going to see a sexy man alive that is not attractive.
But I love that. I mean, he should be on the cover of AARP.
Are we moving into and I know women are probably going to hate this because they always talk about men get more distinguished and sexy as we get older.
It's
and
such
women don't.
This is such a patriarchy thing. I'm not saying that sex is sexy.
I know we just had the Golden Bachelor, and we made a huge deal out of that.
Did you see that? I've never seen that. It looks bad.
I saw some trailers for it, and
they look so. Okay, so that's the difference.
I got to be honest with you, and people aren't going to like I'm saying this. The women on the show looked old.
Oh yes, because they had so much work done.
I've seen 60-year-old women that are pretty hot. I did not see one on that show.
But that's that, and we're not going to get into the patriarchy. That's the patriarchy. That is men wanting older women to look young.
So is this because we don't have enough younger sexy men, or are we starting to move towards 50-year-old men? The dad bods, those guys are in. I mean, what does it say about our society that a 57-year-old guy who's been the sexiest man alive before, was he fifth on the list, or are we just trying to sell people magazines?
That may be a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Right, because people if you ask my kids, first of all, my kids don't know what a magazine is.
Yeah.
And then second of all, people.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
shifting. It's shifting to the generational demographic.
Yeah.
So, but by the way, so I'll just say, I met Patrick Dempsey when he was on Knots Landing. He was like, oh my God, he must have been like 20.
I met him when he was here at Barber Motorsports. Right. Yeah.
He filmed.
He's a nice guy.
They filmed it in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I met him. He was a very nice guy. He gave me $25 or $20 to use my basketball in Knots Landing.
Yeah.
It was a great.
What's is there Ellen Pompeo? Is this the woman that was on the show? It's her birthday today, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How old is she? 60?
I have no idea. She's got to be up there. Yeah, she was sweet. She's the one that fell in love with him. Yeah, I don't know what this... as a 57-year-old, I'm kind of like, well, how about that?
Yeah, but we don't look like him.
No.
Well, you know what it is?
But he's got a 57-year-old body. He may take care of it a lot better than we do. But,
it is.
But it's nice to know that a 57-year-old man can be the sexiest man alive.
Yeah. Although he has got...
There's a lot of...
I know.
There's a lot of mid-50s and 60-year-old women looking at their 57-year-old husband going, what the hell?
That's exactly...
What happened to you?
And I bet...
Go cut some grass. Go work out.
I bet he's had...
Get on OnlyFans and go make some money.
I bet he's had a little bit of work done. Just a little bit. Just a little...
He looks good.
He looks great. You know what this is? I still say the same thing. I haven't seen him in recently. This is Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck is one of the most attractive... I mean, he's got to be like, what, close to 80?
Nice. I think he's 70, something like that. But he looks good. With the stash, for sure. He needs to have
Who can do the stash?
He's doing the reverse mortgages. Yeah, he's...
I mean, even the reverse mortgages, he still looks like...
I was surprised how good he looked on Friends, to be honest with you.
Yes.
I was like, why didn't we bring Magnum P.I. back when he was still young?
Well, we did with somebody else. Yeah, it's like Journey with a new singer.
Like I'd watch Magnum P.I. with Tom Selleck now.
Yeah, but I wouldn't watch... Right. That's exactly.
Yeah. How old are you?
55.
You're in good shape.
I'm in good shape, but I don't... That's you look at Patrick Dempsey, you look at Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
You look at a lot. There are people who... I mean, everybody's beautiful. They're beautiful in their own way and all that. But there are people who just, have the Greek god and goddess look.
Yeah.
Patrick Dempsey.
A lot of it's staying thin. I'm just going to say that.
And healthy skin.
If you can stay thin and have healthy skin,
yes,
you can age very gracefully as a man and a woman.
Yes.
Women got to do more work because they're into the creams and all that kind of stuff.
Well, no, and also because our expectation is men.
And they have more things that drop.
But also
well,
that's it. The expectation.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. Is the expectation. We expect older women to look young.
But thin men, if you can stay thin.
Well, that's what I've always said about you.
Yeah.
You're svelte and you're old.
Thank you. I've lost 20 pounds.
Do you want me to nominate you? I could.
No. No, I'll get on OnlyFans first.
You should. We'll talk about that today.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you a quick story.
You and Dubs.
There's a site. I forget the name of the site. I remember talking to you about it, and I talked to Dr.
I remember the voice thing.
Yeah,
yes. See, you told
so there's a site that is totally audio.
Yep.
And I forget the name of it. It's on my phone because I actually subscribed to it because I was going to read. And basically, it's a site for women. It's like Audible for erotic and sexy novels.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And you can get on this site and you can tell a story however you want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically Audible for erotic novels. And it's got I don't know, I forget who started. The woman who started it.
Gwyneth Paltrow?
No, the woman who started it,
Judy Blume?
Her husband actually was in some type of social media platform. What was it? I forget anyway.
Zuckerberg?
And so I thought to myself,
Yeah.
I could get on there, and if someone sends me something to read because of my voice, and I've been reading my entire life and doing voice work, because a lot of guys get on there and they got a lisp or they sound like a dork and they're trying to read something sexy.
Hey, don't tease me.
Like, and so she came across the room and she took her clothes off, and you're like, what? That's not sexy. And so I'm thinking to myself, and so I thought if I could find some things, hell, I could even read, Penthouse Forum.
You can't do that. That's plagiarism.
And
Yep.
I thought to do it.
Yep.
And I didn't.
Why? Because you just got busy?
Because it's nasty.
Yeah,
I went on the site. I listened to some of the stories. What sounded like a really brilliant, not a clean idea, but a sexy,
where's the line?
Romantic line. And then all of a sudden you get on there and there's just people just cussing and saying the nastiest things. And I was like,
so it crossed the line from eroticism.
It was just nasty.
Nasty.
I mean, the first thing I listened to, and these are people that have thousands of followers who drop stuff once a day and they're reading something and it's just nasty. And I'm like, and I can't imagine people even listening to that smut. And I was like, do I want to be part of a site that promotes this type of material?
Yes. Well,
I couldn't do it.
Initially,
I was like,
thought about it.
Even if I was reading something clean that was like an erotic novel that obviously a lot of women pull a lot. That's one of the biggest sellers in Barnes and Nobles or wherever you go is erotic novels, and I couldn't do it because I didn't want to be part of something that was
good for
nasty.
you.
Well, that from a moralistic standpoint, that's OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Now listen, I'm not stupid enough to sit there and say I'll give you $1 million to take your clothes off. And
we've talked about that all the time. If you had a contract,
but I think that's where you really find where your heart is.
So if you had a contract with this place, they commissioned you, kind of like a book. We're going to pay you. Let's not make it $1 million. I'm going to do it for $1 million. Let's say they pay you $10,000 a month.
Yeah,
$10,000 a month, and we want you to read this erotic stuff, and you have, let's just say you have some first right of refusal a little bit.
Yep.
Like you can't refuse everything, but there's a little bit of negotiation on it. Would you do it at $10,000 a month?
Again, it depends on what the material is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So let's say it was, but let's say your
knowing
material,
that my kids could hear it.
Yeah.
Knowing that my friends could hear it. There probably have to be. There's a price.
Yeah,
I think that goes for a lot of things. There'd have to be a price where there's a strip club down the street.
From here?
Yes. That offered me, this was 15, 20 years ago, offered me to be their spokesperson. I used to do remotes there. The Sammys.
I know.
I used to do remotes there.
Oh, we got to go pretty soon, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
We gotta go to TV.
And I was on the air over Jocks. And I was on there talking about a foundation that my ex and I had started called the Bright House Foundation for Special Needs Children. And then I heard me reading a Sammy's commercial back to back, and I was like, "This is not right. This is not good." Something tugged at my heart and said, "I can't do this. I can't be talking about Montana dancing on the main stage at 9:30 tonight." While I'm talking about helping special needs kids and individuals through this foundation. And at that point I said, listen, I can't do this anymore. And they were like really disappointed. And so they offered me quite a bit of money, which at the time, which was a lot of money for me. And I had to turn it down. And so from a moralistic standpoint, I said, this is not something I can be part of. And of course they were like, oh, Mr. Hypocrite, you come in and da-da-da. And I was like, listen,
It's good for you.
Well, again, someone comes in, there's a lot of people that would do really stupid shit for $1 million.
Yes.
Knowing that it would influence their lives.
Yes.
And their children and their friends. Now their friends might go, for $1 million, I would have done the same thing.
No.
I don't know. But I mean, that's something that's an individualistic priority, and that's something that you're going to deal with, and this teacher is going to have to do it as well.
I firmly believe that when the circumstances sort of are right, and
listen, if she was living on the street and feeding
Yeah,
rats, I mean, that's one thing.
No,
but she was
no,
a
no,
school
no.
teacher
I understand.
for 5 years, making 42 grand. She's got a husband who I'm assuming is working as
I
well.
know that.
I'm not going to.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. You're making it. I think you can make it much more subtle and nuanced, because I think that's the.
I do give her credit for at least not having her face on her video.
That is the reality.
But I
of the
also think that
temptation.
her husband showed his face on purpose.
You think so?
Yeah, because no one knew who Brianna Coppage was until the story came out.
So do you think he did it like wink, wink, like look at me?
I think so.
I can't wait to talk about this on television.
I know.
I can't believe we got it through.
We'll talk about it on Fox 6 in about 15 or 20 minutes. Check us out on Fox 6. Also, check me out on ABC 3340.
Not
I do a
talking
great
about
show.
this.
No, we might. It's called The Starting Lineup with Kip Keefer and Tony Kurre. We are 11, 2, and 1 on our last 14 picks on our show. We do football picks. So we'll be on ABC 3340 from 10:30 to 11 o'clock called The Starting Lineup. This is week 11 already of college football. So we'll get after that coming up ABC 3340 this Saturday morning. But check us out on Fox 6 with Mike Deverly and Janice Rogers coming up here in just a few minutes right here with Kurre and Klapow. Get that TKR app. Listen to great classic rock and roll. You can listen to this podcast wherever you get your favorite podcast right here, Kurre and Klapow. Thanks for watching. Bless.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.